doing with this thing? What in the world am I doing with this thing? Oh my God. Oh my God. I just picked this car up. This is my new car. I had the Z01, I wrecked that. Shit happens. And this is what I got to replace it. This is my 2020 C8 Corvette. LT3 or 3LT or whatever the way they pronounce it. I can't remember if it's the number first. I think it's the number first. So a 3LT Z51 package car. Red with black racing stripes on the performance wheels with the spoiler. And Alcantara and carbon fiber everything on the interior. Alcantara seats, heated and cooled. Alcantara steering wheel, heated. Carbon fiber inlay on the dashboard, on that little piece, on the doors. I mean, every piece of interior that can have carbon fiber on it, this has it. On top of that, my good boy Justin has already given me a carbon fiber front splitter for this thing. I don't know if it's able to see it with this little camera, but this is full carbon fiber. And I have a lot to say about this car, and I have a lot to talk about in this video, and we'll get into that in just a second. But if you're looking for like the go fast and do all the fun shit video that we have to do in this car, it's not this video. I don't want you to think it's this video. This video is not to distract you from all the fun that we're gonna have. But today we're gonna go and talk about some serious stuff. Let you in on like the details when it comes to being like a younger guy like me trying to get a car like this. And I feel like nobody wants to share that kind of stuff. Everyone wants to be like, look at this new car I paid cash for. That's not what I did. Like, we're gonna talk a lot about my personal finances and credit and stuff like that, because I don't think anybody likes to talk about that stuff. Of course not, why would they? But I think that if I go through some of this stuff with you guys, that this is not unobtainable for a lot of people. And I'm not like some self-help bullshit, how to like manage your money, because that's not what it's about. I just wanna let you know what it took for a regular guy like me to get it, because people probably think that I make all kinds of money on YouTube. They see all these other YouTubers go out and buy these supercars and sports cars and stuff, and they act like they pay cash for them. A lot of them probably do. I don't have that kind of finances. The truth is with YouTube, it's really easy to like distort those figures. It's really easy to distort it and make it look like someone's making more money than they are. And I'm about to go, because I got a lot of shit to do today. So let's just start it up and hear what it sounds like. Vehicle raising, yeah, because my driveway just barely fits out this door though. Look at my dirty pants today too. Look, see, it's got the front airlift on this thing up right now, because it turns out this car is actually already lowered to the ground. Like, it's got lowering cups on it or something like that. There's only one guy who makes them or something like that. There's a lot of information I don't know. It's got airlift in the front, so when you go over speed bumps and stuff like that, it comes up off the ground. But you'll see this thing tucked down real low later. Look at that, now it's parked next to the 95. That's a fucking sight. That is sex. God, I love these two vehicles. I love this. I love this combo. I can't wait to tell you about how all of this is insane. Like, how perfect everything is in here because of so many reasons. Look at the seats. I love the seats. The carbon fiber on the performance seats too, by the way. And I don't know if this came standard with all of them, but I love the stitching in Alcantara on the roof. All right, let's go. Put it in D. Stands for fucking go. So, there's a couple things I have to talk about in today's video. Obviously, one of them being that I've been wearing glasses for like a lot of videos. Some of the stuff that we recorded, I'm wearing glasses. It's just, I'm tired of seeing myself in glasses. I'm sure you're tired of seeing myself in glasses. I'm trying to make an eye appointment so I can get my contacts back to anyway. So before I talk about the car, I'd like to tell you about where I'm gonna go today, because I'm on the way right now to go back to the dealership that I bought this car from. They have a second set of keys for me, so I've got to go back and get my second set of keys. I also would like to record some stuff for them. I didn't tell them I would, I didn't promise him I would. I just said that I'd come back and get the keys. But man, I got a really awesome experience that happened at this dealership. And then after that, I got to stop by and see Justin real quick and show him how to use a camera, because he wants to start doing some solo recording stuff with like a better camera than what we have, that we've been using for him. You know, Justin and I run another channel together called Rap Life. We both manage that channel 50-50. And wow. We both manage that channel 50-50. He basically took me to the mountains to do a video in his C8. Right? Like, he was like, man, I haven't been driving the C8, the McLaren's down right now, getting some work done to it. How about you and Ham come to the mountains, we'll record something for Rap Life on the C8. We'll just make a badass video. And that's how it started. Next thing you know, I'm in the car with him, which is something I try not to do. I try not to be in the car with Justin because he's a driving fool, man. He can drive. He is a very good driver. He also drives aggressively. And Justin takes me through the mountains in his C8 and abuses me. I mean, absolutely abuses me in the car. And he's showing me like just how much this car is capable of doing. And it didn't feel real. It didn't feel like the car was able to actually be doing what it was doing. It felt like a video game, to be honest with you guys. Really wild. I was sold on this car immediately. That was Sunday. Monday, I start looking for cars. And at the end of the day, I find this one online. It just listed it in Commerce, Georgia, at a dealership called Auto Gallery Chevrolet. I'm telling you that right now, before I even get into all the other stuff later, that they did not take $1 off this car for me. They did not give me a discount. Okay, no, come on over. I'm giving you this, there you go. I gave you all the fucking room, you asshole. They didn't take a dime off this car for me. I paid what anybody would pay for this car. Anyway, the dealership takes this car in Monday. Call him first thing in the morning, was like, do you have this car still in stock? I am coming to buy it. There wasn't like, maybe I'm coming to buy it or I'll come and check it out. I knew what I wanted the second I saw it. This car was priced higher than what I really wanted to spend on a car. And I really wasn't gonna settle for anything less, but I knew what I wanted. The Miracle, which didn't seem like that big of a deal at the time, but after really thinking about it and paying attention, I realized how rare of a find this car was, because this is exactly how I would have spec'd it. This is a used car. This is a 2020. I bought it at around 2,500 miles on it. Already came lowered and everything. I mean, it was like, you talk about the perfect car, this is it for me. I really try not to say this a lot because I go through a lot of cars. I like cars. But I feel like this car, it was supposed to happen for me. Like, no doubt in my mind that was what was supposed to happen. That I find really weird is the fact that I originally was not considering buying one of these cars for a long time. I did not want to get a C8 because I thought they looked bad. Until Justin started modifying his. It was like, once I saw someone put the work into the car, I was like, man, that car has a lot more potential than I thought. And then I found mine, you know? To be 100% truthful, before trying to buy this car, I was trying to buy a McLaren. And I told this to a lot of people privately because it was just a long-term goal of mine, for sure, to get a McLaren. And I was trying my absolute best to get it to work. And I was close, man, I was really close until I ran into the issue of financing the car, even with really good credit. And I'll go into this later in the video because it's important. It's so important to how this worked out for me that I want to share it with you guys. We're on the highway, which is a place where this car does great. You can launch it, not touch the steering wheel. It's ridiculous. Just get on it and just let it do its thing. Just does its thing. I can't believe how insane it feels. I'm not sure there's anything I can talk about or say about a C8 Corvette that hasn't already been explained by a million better YouTubers than me at doing car reviews. I'm sure David's done one, Doug Demure, and anybody in between. There's a million videos on C8 Corvettes out there, and none of them affected my decision making when it came to this car. I had seat time in the car. I had driven it and I had experienced it, and there was no question in my mind on like
what kind of car I wanted then. One thing I've always liked about cars that have selecting switches for like different driving modes. You got like track mode and race mode, and you got, you know, tour mode and weather mode. This car does change the way each one of those feels in between. I'm trying to think of an example of another car that I've been in that makes that drastic of a change between driving modes, but tour mode, you can't hear the engine at all. The road noise is minimal. I'm doing 80 on I-285, and you can't hear any of the noise. But, you know, I can turn it into sport mode and fucking wake it up and just do this like bloop. Oh, then it does things. Woo! But another thing that deterred me from getting a C8 at the time was the race to be first. Be the first person with twin turbos on a Corvette, or be the first person to wrap one, or be the first person to get this, be the first person to do that. Man, I had so little interest in doing or capitalizing on any of that shit. And nothing negative to them. It's just not something I was interested in doing. I didn't want to be involved in that rat race of being the first person to do this or do that with a Corvette. Or I hate that. To me, it's one big pissing contest that I just don't want to be a part of, you know? So I'm enjoying sitting back and letting the parts come out for the car and getting them when I can, you know? I just bought the car, you know? I'd love to do a bunch of work to it. I'd love to put, you know, to wheels, carbon fiber, everything on it. But right now I'm limited by the people who are willing to support me because I just bought a car. You know, like, I always find it super weird, like, the minute someone buys, like, a really expensive car and they start doing a ton of work to it, and you're like, damn, dude, how the fuck did you pull that off? Thankfully, like, I do have a lot of good partners that are gonna help me do the stuff that I want to do. I'm gonna put a Corsa exhaust on this, put some beautiful wheels on it, eventually wrap it with Atlanta Custom Wraps, but right now I'm really enjoying the red. He's cool with that. He's not mad about me buying the exact same car that he has and then not wanting to wrap it, you know? It's just really nice to be able to get something big on YouTube and not have to, like, have any ties to it. I know that's really weird to say, but like imagine if someone gave you, like, a Corvette, but it had Big Chug Smoke Shop on the side, right? So what's today, Friday? I've had this car for 3.5 days. Justin and I had already been in the mountains with our buddy Easy Money. Absolutely drove this car way harder than it's ever been driven. Oh my God. The first day I get it, he's like, we're going to the mountains. We had plans to do other shit, like, no joking. We had major plans to go doing other important stuff, and Justin's like, I've already canceled them. I'm gonna go to the mountains and play with my buddy in his new C8, and I was like, all right, let's go to the mountains. We drove pretty hard. I mean, for Justin, it wasn't hard, but for me, it's the hardest I've ever driven a car in any sort of twisty turns, and this car was, like, mad as fuck that I wasn't giving it more. It seemed unreal, and I know for a fact I wasn't even touching half of what this car can do, maybe less, because I felt what a chill ride to Justin feels like in one of these cars, and it's unbelievable. I cannot wait to share that video with you guys. It's gonna be so much fun and terrifying, and, like, it's all over the place. So if you guys don't follow Rap Life, which is, again, another channel that I and Justin manage, and we upload pretty consistently on now, especially now that we got a camera guy on, go check it out. I have links in the description. Yeah, we got a ton of awesome content on there, so check it out. So I live in Powder Springs, Douglasville area, right, in Georgia, and I came through this town here in Commerce, Georgia, which is, like, complete opposite side of Atlanta, you know?
Lately I've been living like I can't take a loss. They ain't wanna help me, that's what made me a boss. You can't kill my confidence, I think I'm the man. We don't give a fuck, that's what they don't understand. I'm back again like flu season. I broke records while loose leafing. I'm coming down my roof, leaving. Don't give a fuck, I don't care. Did the shit by my lonesome. No wonder now I'm on one. No shortcuts on that long run. All I really want is my share. Get on my gun, on my team is nothing.
An asshole here too. I'm gonna see if they come out and see if they notice me yet. Alright, I'm about to go see my boy Corey and the other guys that helped me. Yeah, I haven't told anybody yet in the video. Do you want to be on video? I don't know if you wanted to. Yeah, if you want to introduce yourself.
My name is Christian. I work at Automotive Chevrolet.
Yeah, come and see these guys. Then obviously Andy, you help me, or do you go by Andrew on YouTube?
Typically on YouTube because I'm
a little bit more professional.
Yeah, a little bit more professional, absolutely.
You're the finance manager, right?
Finance manager.
He helped me
absolutely.
get a lot of shit locked away too.
Absolutely.
These guys are the finest people you ever see. And this guy actually knew who I was, but he wasn't here that day, so he couldn't even vouch for me. Yeah, what I was saying earlier though is that I had to get rid of the Rebel. I've been talking about it. It's a big bummer, but if y'all want it, it's up here at Auto Gallery Chevrolet. They're gonna take really good care of it. Is that it?
Yeah,
That's my truck. Oh, I miss it.
All right, Christian, that means you gotta go get the keys.
You don't think it's unlocked?
No, it shouldn't be.
Selling it with the Morimoto headlights and taillights too, by the way. So if you come up here, you get a free set of headlights and taillights with it.
The infinity tail light.
Oh, this was the best truck I ever had, man.
Yeah.
I talk about it all the time. It was the hardest thing about buying that car was saying goodbye to it. Oh yeah, it's also got the LED backup light bar. This thing is stupid bright. If you throw it into reverse on the highway, it'll blind the person behind you.
Okay, good. It is locked. I like to make sure things are done, you know, at least.
Oh.
Right. Is it still up there, maybe?
No, it's not. Goldern. Also, this is my good friend Corey. He's the one who helped me. Man, he worked with me on the car. What time did I get here? It was like 1 o'clock.
1 o'clock
in the afternoon on a Tuesday, and we left the dealership at like 7:30. It's like 7:30 at night. Man, introduce yourself. You're the man.
My name is Corey. I work here at Auto Gallery Chevrolet in Commerce, Georgia, a home of the lifetime warranty. We famous for selling the C8 Corvette. So if anybody's looking for them, just
I already got my buddy Easy Money, Justin and I's buddy Easy Money. He was like, man, he saw my Corvette. He's like, I want one. I immediately gave him Corey's information. I was like, he'll get you one. I think you guys got one coming in for him.
one coming in. Yes,
Yeah.
we're working on it right now.
Oh,
Working on it
man,
right
that's
now.
awesome,
All right,
dude.
Yeah.
Thank
I
you
already
guys.
got somebody on that Porsche he wanted to trade.
Really? That fast? Man, that thing was wrapped by Atlanta Custom Wrap, so you ask for any one of these gentlemen here. What's your name, sir? TJ. TJ, ask for any one of these fine gentlemen. I don't know.
David's like, hey, wait, come here.
He's like, let me in on this one too. He's like, first thing as soon as I walked in, he was like, you get any tickets yet? And I was like, no, not yet. They didn't take anything off the top price. Like, don't think that this is a sponsored thing. This is strictly me being nice. Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Appreciate you guys. You want to talk about? Let's talk about this guy. I'm gonna talk about this later in the video. But this guy was on the phone with the banks, convincing them to give me this car. Remember you talking to that lady? Like, yeah, he's do it, Dan. I know him. He's
Don't get too big of a head now, but I'm gonna talk you up a bit.
Man, he did, and like by the end of the conversation, the woman at the bank was like, "We gotta get him a car," and they freaking approved it. It was like such a battle, and you made it work for me too, man. Thank you so much.
Always.
These guys, you just say my name, these guys will treat you like family, just like me, man. Thank you guys so much. Thank you. Okay, I did the dealership burnout. They're really nice about it, but I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I hope they're not mad at me. I try to take care of the people who help me, man, and I'd like to do some stuff for them in the future, but thank you guys. Every single one of you. Really good people, man. But now I'm on the highway, cruising, you know, it's no big deal. Headed to go see Justin in Woodstock to give him a camera so he can take the camera and go do stuff this weekend. I will not be able to join him this weekend. I don't really even know what he's got planned, but this weekend I'll be working on the dually, getting the cab corner squared away with Magnum and stuff like that. The last little bit of here's and there's on the dually, and then it should be registerable, and then that will be my my towing truck and my fun truck. On a side note, I really hate it when people go slow in the left lane on the highway. It's just really easy to zip around people in this thing too, by the way. One thing I really like is the rear view mirror. I like it how it's a camera. You know, you can do all sorts of stuff. You adjust the brightness. You can adjust the zoom. Look at that. I can zoom into this guy here and see what he's doing, probably jerking off or something. I can change it to go up and down. Like, that's so badass. And you have this because obviously behind me there's an engine, and the mirror doesn't work for shit. I mean, you can do this and it turns into a regular mirror, but why? You can't see out that thing. You have no visibility. So I'd just rather it be a screen. Now that I'm done riding around and doing stuff, I'm back at the house, I'm chilling. I want to talk to you guys about like the financial side of it and what I learned and kind of how it goes into getting something like this, because I think a lot of other YouTubers don't talk about this stuff, right? Like, everyone wants to say that they bought a car straight cash, and like a lot of them have it like that, and I don't. Like, I'm pretty average guy. It's just me. Up until recently, I've hired a cameraman, and even then, we're doing our best to keep production up wise, you know what I'm saying? That being said, I learned a lot about like how to get one of these cars, or a car like this, you know, in this price range, because right now it's hard to find one of these things under $100,000. It's damn near impossible, especially in this trim package, and that just isn't happening. Originally, I wanted to buy a McLaren. I was looking at McLarens, and the ones I was looking at were about like $150,000. That's about the price range that I was looking at, 150, 140. And then, you know, I started thinking about like how much I would need down, and I started saving. I'd had some money left over after the Camaro accident from insurance, and I started saving away some money, and to the point where I had about $40,000 down on a car. After taxes and all that good stuff, it's like a $130,000 loan. You know what I'm saying? The highest auto loan I'd ever had before was my Camaro. It was like $60,000, and I got that I don't know how many years ago. Before then, I was approved for a $60,000 loan when I had the GTR. You know what I'm saying? I'm always ahead of my payments. I pay more and ahead of time. Because of that, I have great credit. Keeping my credit good is something that my parents instilled in me when I was a kid. So that's obviously the important thing. Not perfect, but damn near close. You know what I'm saying? I go to start looking at getting a McLaren, and I have all this cash down, which shouldn't be an issue. The rule is generally like 20%, right? I'm thinking like $40,000, $50,000 down. That leaves my payments stupid cheap, get a great interest rate because my credit, etc., etc. And the issue I ran into was that getting approved for a loan higher than, let's say, $75,000, I believe. My first time getting approved for a loan that high. And that's like the barrier when it comes to financing vehicles. Most banks will not approve over, I believe it's $75,000. It's a lot more work because most vehicles are well into that, you know. But if you buy supercars or fast cars and stuff like that, and you're not going to be paying for them cash, then you have to have good credit. In reality, if it weren't for the great credit, and I've never missed a payment on anything, on my house, on my insurance, anything like that, because I budget myself really well. When I was a full-time student in college, paying for it out of pocket, I was also working a full-time job and doing an internship. Like, I taught myself how to budget myself really well during these times because I had to, otherwise I'd be broke. And there's gonna be people out there who say a million different things, like if you buy a car like this, you should put more money down, or you should pay it for cash, or you know, I don't think that's the truth at all. I think you should be able to budget yourself and have the things that you want. You know, you got to prioritize what's important to you, right? Just because people prioritize different things doesn't make your hobbies or your obsessions negligent. And that's what's important to us, man. We like cars. And I say all of this, I go all of this back to it is because a lot of people look at cars like this and they think it's unobtainable at whatever rank or their life. You know, people go their whole life thinking that they couldn't have a car like this. And it really doesn't take nearly as much work as a lot of people think, but it has to be a priority in your life, right? Like if you want a car like this, you have to say like, okay, that's what I want. And that's just what I like. I like cars, so I work hard for my cars. That's what I focus my effort on, my cars, my motorcycles, my guns, like the things that I'm passionate about, I figure out ways to make happen. And I've got no regrets about how I do things. Whenever you buy an expensive car online, people want to delve into your finances and, oh, you know, must be nice. And truth be told, it is. But that's because it's what's important to me. If other things were important to me, I would work just as hard for those things. But I'm not a financial expert. Obviously, I'm not. There's people out there who do what I do that make way more money. People who have lower subs than me, people who have more subs than me, whatever. People kill it from all over the world and make me look like a bad YouTuber. But the truth be told is I'm very content. I'm very happy with the way I do stuff, and I've got no shame up in my game, if you will. And honestly, that's another reason why I don't even plug my merch, is because I don't feel bad when people buy shirts, because you guys know that stuff like that is there. You're like, oh yeah, Dan's got merchandise. Cool. If I want to support him, I will. If I want to wear his products, I will. But otherwise, he doesn't make me feel bad for not buying it. And I think that's important. That's important to me anyway. I go through all of this. I guess what I was trying to tell you guys earlier, that got kind of alluded in the story about why I like this car. If stuff like this is important to you, it's not hard. The first thing I do when I start looking at buying a car, because I've bought a lot of cars now, I start thinking about, okay, how much money can I put down? What's my insurance going to be like? It's all these steps that I start doing the moment I decide something, because I just want to know how much work is it going to take? And is it worth that amount of work? And people might look at this and think that it's not worth it. They might think that, like, people might, like, gawk at the idea of, like, a $120,000 car and be like, that's absurd. You know, why would you ever spend that kind of money on a car? And it's like, it's what I like. It's what I'm about. I'm willing to spend that kind of money, you know, on a car like this, because it's what I like. It's what I enjoy. And I hope to God you guys find something that you're that passionate about. Something that you guys love and care about the way I do about cars. Getting that approval for over a $75,000 loan was very hard work, right? We had to work as a team at the dealership to get it done for me, because it was my first time ever going beyond that mark. But the good point is now is that as long as I don't miss my payments, and this is so important, right? This is why I want to tell you guys this shit. Thankfully, I had people who were willing to fight with me to help me get this car. But now in the future, when I go to buy my car, when I go to buy my McLaren, they're not going to second guess me as someone to give a loan to. They're going to be like, oh yeah, he's been doing this shit. We know he's good. You know, we know DOITWITHDAN's good. And it's going to allow me to continue to doing the things that I like to do. And that's why I want to share it with you guys, is that if this is something you're passionate about, you have to start somewhere, right? You know, I started my first auto loan was for my BMW. It was like $15,000, right? I was paying like 20% APR on that thing just so I could have it and enjoy it. And I made those payments and I got my good credit and I refinanced that motherfucker. And then after I refinanced thing, I got like an 8% interest rate. And I was like, oh my God, 8? After 20? Yeah. You know, and it's like the hits you take, right? I don't think there's any shame in that, guys. But at the same time, I wanted to make sure you guys knew that it wasn't me just out here buying shit cash. Not because I don't want you to think that about me. I'd love nothing more than you guys to know that about me if that was the case. But it's not. It's not who I am. It's not my capabilities. I've always been super clear with you guys. So I guess I wanted to say that in the sake of clarity and to let you guys know that, like, if it's something you're passionate about and you work for it, man, it's not hard. It's just work. Anyway, guys, I want to say thank you so much for all the love and support you've given me. And I can't wait to share with you guys all the stuff that we do with the car and the places that we go with this car and my future plans for it. I love you guys.